Hello everyone, this is Rachel at Herbs and Splodge. I've decided to turn my channel into things that are basically about things that I really love, like jewellery and crystals and herbs. I'm still going to be doing work on herbs, but I decided to expand what I was doing after lots and lots of thinking about how I was going to take this in a particular direction. I'm no expert on jewellery, I will admit, but I do know the difference between costume and gems, and I do know the difference between gold and silver. So we're going to go with what I've got here today. This is just a batch of costume jewellery. I have gone through it already because I just wanted to make sure that I knew what I was talking about. And well, I hope you enjoy the video. So let's get started. So this one is a really pretty, the sequins have come off another jewellery box. A really pretty necklace. And I know that none of this is silver, so to show you that is just a silver metal, and it's plated with some kind of pink inlay, possibly mother of pearl, but more likely some kind of synthetic. But very pretty, and I thought I would possibly give this to my daughter with a matching bracelet. They won't fit on my wrists are too big. But let's have a try. It might work, it might fit. So that you can see. Very pretty. And just in case my camera is not in the right position, I'm going to be fiddling with this now for some time, trying to get it back on. But there's the necklace with some pretty little sparkles in it and the pink inlay. And this was made by somebody called Limit. Never heard of them. Next, we've got a couple of bangles. It's a really pretty enamel bangle. It's not silver, it's just tarnished quite badly inside, but still very, very pretty on the outside. And I suspect that my daughter might like these as some kind of stacking bracelet. Pop those back in there. And here we've got some really pretty earrings. I don't think they're anything special to speak of. This is plastic, this brooch, not even metal. I don't think this is even metal, and if it is, it's not very thick metal. And this feels like plastic. And then some very pretty sort of flower earrings. And a couple of brooches. I suspect that one came in the box. I don't know, I don't think it has a maker. It's a tartan box, so possibly from Scotland. Let's see if I can get it out of the... Oh, I'm all fingers and thumbs. No, I can't seem to get it out. I'll have to look at that when it's better light. But I don't think it's anything, it's not by anyone, but it's still very pretty statement piece. And then pearl with some sparkles. I think it's glass, I think it's synthetic of some kind. Very pretty. And in here we've got a watch. So just take that out of the box. Very, very pretty watch, which my daughter might also use for a stacking arrangement on her wrist. I think there might be one stone missing, which I can just see there. And that was Buckingham. And next we have lots of sparkles. So in here there is a whole range of rings. They're just costume rings. Oh, it's not going to stay open. I have to put it on the slant. None of these are going to fit my fingers because I've got quite big fingers. You can see there. And a pair of earrings. Very pretty. Oh. And this one's quite pretty and a bit more dainty. And a big chunky one. There's definitely nothing, there's no markings in there, they were just dress rings. And this one, it's quite pretty with the way it's done. It's been done here, but I think there might be a stone missing here. Possibly one or two more stones missing. And that one's complete, but very pretty and very sparkly. And then we've got 3 pairs of studs. And as you can see, all very sparkly. There's a couple of stones missing out of this one, but these ones are fine. And part of the reason for me deciding to pick this up was it was £30 for this entire jewellery collection, which I thought was really, really good money. And there was a bit more than this on the table. There's 3 more boxes. So this is a necklace, very, very sparkly, very pretty. And none of these have any tags. Just a little silver ball on the end. And they're not heavy enough to be silver. And my daughter has shown a real interest in pretty jewellery, and she's of an age where she can't really buy the more expensive stuff out of the shops. And I thought, well, why not? Let's have a go with jewellery. This one's very, very pretty as well. There's a little bit of wear on the clasp. This is obviously a favourite piece of the lady that I bought it from. Another sparkly one. Really, really pretty. Again, there's no maker's mark or anything. I did think the clasp on this might be silver, but I'm not entirely sure. And I can't see anything on the clasp. So probably silver plated. And a really pretty bracelet. Very sparkly. This one felt quite weighty, but it is in fact not silver. No, I can't see any marks on there. but it did feel quite heavy in the hands. And then there's this one, another very pretty, potentially stacking bracelet. And one more to match the necklace, I think. Yeah, I think that one goes with this necklace. Ooh. It goes with one of these. I'm not entirely sure which one. I think the one with the bigger sparkles. Yeah. And that's that for this box. There isn't anything in here. But part of the reason I decided to purchase this was because she doesn't actually have anywhere to put her jewellery. And this actually came with all of these really pretty boxes. I mean, just look at this one. Lovely wooden box with inlay. And so I decided, well, let's go for it. And it's got a nice little mirror inside as well. This is, I think, beads, and it's been made by Elk. I don't know who Elk is, but I have seen that name somewhere. So dyed beads, pretty sort of navy blue. It's very light, very, very lightweight. And then a couple more gold sparkles. Now I know my daughter won't wear gold, so we'll be looking at potentially moving some of this stuff on. So you'll have to let me know if you're interested in any of these items. But I think they're just fashion jewellery. Yeah, so that's the first part of my video. And then we have quite a lot more. Notice the amateur video. I'm still learning. Okay, so this is a little pill box, and nothing really spectacular about that. It was obviously just thrown in as part of the lot. Still quite pretty. And this is very pretty. It's little glued on beads with a bit of sequin, and obviously this is a little homemade or artisan piece. And this is a black enamel with some red. Very, very pretty. Almost might keep that myself. And another potential stacking bracelet for my daughter. This one's been made in four I don't know what you call them, attachments, and all of it is intact. There's no, oh, there's a couple of gems missing there. But if I decide to do a bit more of this, then I'm likely to come across these type of things, and I can probably glue some add-ins into there. Very heavy. I think this has been coloured gold. Nice one if you're out in the summertime. The elastic has still got some give in it, but it probably would need restringing at some point. That's not my forte. I'm not a jewellery rescue like the lady that I've been watching recently. And another potential stacking bracelet. All very sparkly. This one I don't think has anything missing. No. No, but very pretty. Although a little tarnished on the metal. And then we have a very pretty necklace. This is the sort of thing that my daughter would wear. It's a little tarnished, probably needs a bit of a clean, but I'll try and get that to hang properly. Some pretty blue sparkles in that one. And I suspect that if I gave it a little bit of polish, that might bring up some of this silver colour a bit better. And howlite, white howlite, with some spacer beads and sparkles and a little teddy bear. I think it's a teddy bear. I'm not sure what that is. 4-leaf clover in red, with red sparkles in it. Okay, so here we've got some really pretty glass beads. Really, really pretty. I quite like these myself, but I can't wear anything but silver in my ears, so I'd have to make sure the hooks were changed or were actually silver before I could wear these. I'm not sure it's my daughter's taste, so may have to find another home for them. This one's a pink and white sparkly bracelet, but it's looking a little bit worse for wear. Not looking as glamorous as it should do, I think. And a very tarnished and in fact worn bracelet that looked like it had lots of silver on it, but it is possible to reuse this pendant if that had been given a clean. I'm not sure what this design means, but if you know, let me know in the comments. Ooh, it's not going to stay up, I don't think. There we go. This is quite heavy and I really quite like it actually, but I'm not sure that it's the sort of thing that my daughter would wear anyway. But it's got leaves and as like the spacers, and then 3 little charms with trees on. It's very, very pretty. But sadly, I don't think this is silver either. There are no silver marks on this at all that I'm aware. Now this, a couple of dragonflies, and these, I don't know, it says that they are silver, it says 925, but I would be very doubtful that they are 925. I don't know if you can see the little mark there. And it also says 925 on the bracelet. The bracelet does feel like it could be, but it's very light. So I suspect that that's not quite telling the truth. Possibly silver plate. And we've got a little wooden white dove, peace dove, just a little pretty brooch. And in fact, we have several pins. This one's a fish and a golden heart. And I don't know what this is, digital leader. It's obviously something to do with work. And we've got a few more of these pins. There's another heart. So obviously this is something to do with work. It says the Variety Club. Don't know if anybody knows anything about those. There's another Variety Club heart here, which has got 2 hearts on it. A starfish, quite like that one. This one's missing its back. And this one says Riders Association Triumph 05. Not sure what this metal is. Another white metal. And then we have a British Red Cross Society badge. Oh, so lots of badges in that section. I do like the fish. I think the fish is brilliant. And then we have a pretty pair of gold danglies. Now I know my daughter won't wear these, so I suspect that they will be moved on. However, I've decided to do that. Not sure how yet. And then we have this very pretty with purple inlay. It's nothing spectacular. Sorry, novice again with the camera. I think it's probably plastic, not even glass, but very nice, pretty bracelet. And it says YR. I don't know who YR is. Perhaps somebody can enlighten me. And a gold chain, very pretty gold chain, no maker. And this I love long necklaces, even though I can't really wear them, because they tend to dangle all over the place. But this is gorgeous. And it's got really pretty glass beads and sea beads. And I just love the colour. It's like the ocean. Oh, I can't get that one back in there. And then in this bottom drawer, we've got a Celtic brooch. I don't know who made it. There's a blue pendant, which has obviously come off its chain. These are plastic. A really pretty, another little brooch, daisy one. She is strong, fearless, warm, loving, patient and selfless mum. I like that. I'm sure my daughters would argue with me about that I'm not any of those things. There is, now this is really odd, it's like leather handbag or something, material, not leather, but possibly patent leather or something, faux leather. And then it's on what is a little bit of a, not sure if that's gold. Yeah, I think it's gold chain, which has lost a lot of its gold, unfortunately. And we have a little pixie pin. quite like him. It's very sweet. Beware of the imps and the sprites. We have a blue bracelet, which is almost like a hair tie, except it's bracelet, with a butterfly, an anchor and a strawberry. Unusual things to have on a blue bracelet, with a starfish and a turtle. This has lost its stretch, so that will need to be restrung, but it's quite pretty. Glass beads. I love these faceted ones. I love faceted beads. I think they're really pretty. And I think these are glass faux agate. These two are also glass. A very pretty little, it's very small, gold bracelet with flowers. It's missing a few of the sparkles. And I really like this one as well. I love these really pretty beads. They look like, oh, I've forgotten what they're called, paperweight. They look like paperweight glass. So it's really pretty. And I think even these little green beads are glass as well. That needs to be restrung. It's going to lose its stretch. Yeah, even these are glass. They're very, very pretty. I really like this bracelet. It's very nice. I like my stretchy bracelets. So that's that one. Again, we can reuse the box. And this one, it's losing its beads, so I think we would probably take all this off and put something else on to decorate it. And obviously somebody's done some stained glass with the birds there. Okay, so we've got a watch. Little bit dirty, probably could do with a really good clean. And doesn't say anything, it just says stainless steel. I can see. I don't wear watches because they irritate my skin, so it has a serial number, but it's not missing its sparkles, so that's good news. More potential bracelets for stacking. Very pretty. As I said, none of these are silver, they're just costume jewellery, but very pretty, that one. Just a plain silver bangle. Again, there's nothing to tell me that this is anything other than just a pretty bangle. And then we have one more that's similar to the one that I just showed you, with another 6 pretty sparkles in the silver colour. And I know these won't fit on my wrist. God, my wrists are too big. And this one's very pretty, but all of these I'm sure my daughter could use as stacking bracelets, which she is really quite fond of doing at the moment. I'll just pop those back in there. In this one we have, it's really pretty, although it is missing one pearl, which I think, I'm not sure, but I think they're plastic anyway. But it's very pretty anyway. And I'll just show you. I think it is a necklace actually. There's a rose brooch, but it's losing some of its colour. None of these have makers' names on, so I'm not sure entirely where they've come from. There's this one, which is a pretty gold rose. Very, very pretty. But again, no maker's mark that I can see. And we have a gold bracelet. I thought this one was stretchy, but it's not. Very pretty. And a gold chain, losing some of its colour. So if anyone knows where this has come from, let me know in the comments. Okay, so we've got some, oh, it's all got a bit tangled up here. We've got a pair of earrings with glitter. And then matching necklace. There's another one that's got stuck here. And a matching necklace. And we have a silver chain with a gold clasp, weirdly. I'm not entirely sure why that would be, but again, there's no marks on it, so I think this is just junk. And we have a very heavy, I heard the word brutalist the other day, and I didn't know if this is the sort of thing that would be brutalist, but I don't know. I'm not, I can't open it. It doesn't seem to be a locket of any kind. But yeah, pretty heavy. No maker's marks again. And a very pretty gold bracelet. I mean, this lady that I bought the jewellery lot off loved her jewellery. Oh, I can't get that off there. Pretty gold hearts. And another gold one, but with like a thread looped through the chain, which I thought was rather strange, but not my taste. And a pretty red heart. And in this one, we had 3-strand necklace with some really funky beads. All plastic, but still really pretty. I thought they looked pretty cool, actually. Again, there's no maker's mark on any of this jewellery. Just take all this out. Okay, so we have a very small pendant with what looks like a religious scene. This lady lived, I believe, up somewhere near Walsingham, and so may have visited there at some point. There's a couple of religious styled ones like this with some wooden beads that would have to be restrung. I don't think it could be worn the way it is. And there is a lightweight cross, some prayer beads. Now this I thought was really nice, and I saw it in the picture and I thought, oh, that is just lovely, but I think it's plastic or resin. And again, there's no maker's mark, but you could use this as a pendant if you wanted to. Very pretty though, really liked that. And we have a small, it looks like a tiger's eye, but I'm not entirely sure if that's a genuine tiger's eye. It's quite warm in this room, so it's hard to tell. But this is just regular metal, so I think that this might be plastic. And then we have another rather dense and heavy necklace. Oh, I think there's something else tangled up in here. Give me a second. Which I'm not sure if it's lost something off the front here, because this is all sparkly, and I wasn't sure if there was meant to be something on there, if it was just meant to be plain, but it would need to be cleaned anyway. But very pretty. And again, there's no maker's mark. I couldn't see anything on there. And it's tangled up a little bit actually. And then a very dirty chain that's lost a lot of its colour. You're probably wondering why this is going on so long. That's because I have so much to go through. Okay, so I really liked this. I really liked this pretty bead, but I think there was only this one. But it's still plastic. And then we had this gold necklace with this tassel. Very lightweight. And we had a pair of dangly earrings, silvery coloured beads. Very pretty. And if anybody knows what this is, then let me know. I didn't know if this signified something, because obviously this lady was in a lot of clubs or had done lots of work, but it's not, it looked like it might be something. Oh dear, we've got tangled. And then we had this. Which is on sort of a darker metal coloured chain. But I'm not sure what all this is on here. I think it's quite dirty and needs a really good clean. So I don't know what that is. Probably put that in there. And then this statement piece, which I thought was really, I don't really go in for statement pieces, but wow. They're so heavy and chunky, but again, there's no makers on here, so I don't know who designed that one. Okay, so wasn't sure what was happening with this one, but I think it sort of is meant to go a bit like this. Can't really show you. with the blue beads at the back. They're all plastic beads, but quite chunky, quite fun. Those who like beads. And then a small bracelet with sea beads and fake pearls. Faux pearls, sorry. Sorry for those of you that are in the know. Another one of those hearts, which I should probably put with the other one. I'll pop that in there. And we have this. Doesn't seem to be attached to anything, so I think it's not entirely sure what that is. And then we have this pretty bracelet with the sparkles in pink and silver. I don't know the names for all these things, so let me know if you know. And a pair of big dangles with plastic beads, very pretty. And a small ring, another dress ring. And a gold chain with C and sparkles. I don't know anybody with the name C, so. And this seems to be some sort of double chain with another C and a star. Whew, this is a bit of a marathon. Now this one I really liked. It's actually got £2 on the label, so I suspect that the lady was probably trying to sell some of this jewellery separately, and then gave up and decided just to do it all in one. And I can't actually put this on my wrist, but I'll give you an example of what it would look like. But it doesn't fit me. Just take that £2 off. And then there was this. I don't know what this is. Looks like a tourist piece of some kind. And again, it seems to be sort of like a stretchy gold metal sort of foil type bracelet with a sparkly heart as a dangle. And then there was this, which I thought was gorgeous. It is actually a necklace, but obviously I can't show you my neck. But I did think that was really pretty. I think it's actually a choker, and I suspect that my daughter might actually quite like that one. And then we have what looks like an anklet with a golden sun. And another gold chain with what looks like sort of very pale purple sparkles, or pale blue. I can't really see very clearly in this light, but they're definitely not white ones. And it says M&S on it. That one has actually got a maker's mark. I'm sure my daughter is going to be absolutely thrilled when she sees all of this. And then we come to the last batch. Now, I did try really hard to untangle these, but there are two necklaces here and I just couldn't do it because there seems to be like a double necklace with this black chain, and I might have another go at it actually. And then this one's a beaded one with, I think, not sure, plastic beads, or maybe they're glass beads. Might be some glass and some plastic. But it was such a jumble, I decided I'm not going to attempt that any longer. We have a very pretty brooch feather for dressing up. And another brooch Where am I? Where's my hand? And yet another black brooch, this one with sea beads, which I think might be glass. I quite like that one, that's quite fun. And then we have a sea bead necklace, black, pink and silver. Lots of brooches in this. Again, this is this sort of, I don't know, is this a brutalist type brooch? I don't know. Looking a little worn. And a little fabric flower. It's very pretty. And then we have, I don't know what these are called, type bracelets, but it's gold. But again, there is no maker's mark inside, so I couldn't tell you who made this one. And then there's hands and feet. This looks like it's on an elastic. What's this? Hearts. A Chanel. I think that one's been added on. Butterfly, a coat. Bloom. That one looks like it's got a bit of damage to it, that one. And is that more feet or the same? The same feet. Chanel number 5. And then we have this, another dangly with pretty beads. Plastic beads. But very pretty. There is a little, oh, it's M&S. Marks and Spencers. Good old Marks and Spencers. Again, forgive the amateur video. Then we have a bent but pretty pink sparkly heart on a silver chain. It's not real silver, it's looking a bit flat. There's no markings on that, so yeah, and it doesn't feel silver, it's not heavy at all. And then we have some purple beads on a pin. And sometimes my daughter uses these type of things to put on her bag, to dress her bag up. I don't know, this might be a bit too girly for her, but I don't think that one belongs on there anyway. So she might take that off and then just have the purple dangles. And then we have another pin with 2 beads. Very strange. I think these have come off a necklace and have been glued on. A bit of crafting. And we have, now this one I quite like, and I probably would wear this myself. Sort of elongated amber coloured plastic and some kind of coated metal. There's something on that metal. This one is a very long silver dangly type necklace. I don't tend to wear things like this, but let me know, is this the sort of thing you would wear? We have an accessorise brooch. Very pretty, I like that. Doesn't have its price on it, so I don't know what that would have cost originally. And we have a couple of bracelets. This one's gold with a rose, a bit out of shape. And it's lost a little bit of its colour. And we have, this is really weird. It's made out of some kind of paper. It's been stuck on to what I thought was, I did wonder if it was meant to be on there at all, actually. But very pretty. Another stretchy with a silver heart and sparkles. I'm not sure what that is in the middle there. Looks like a chess piece. A heavy, chunky gold and white ribbon necklace. Somebody would have fun taking this apart and using these beads, but these have lost their bead. Maybe they haven't. Maybe they were meant to have them off. I don't know, but that feels like there should have been something on there. But I do like these. Not sure if they're, yeah, they're glass. They're very pretty. Could make some stunning earrings out of those. And we have another very pretty, very tarnished, sparkly bracelet. And another very long silver. I've actually got a necklace with beads like this, which have been covered in thread. They remind me of those. It's in good condition. I quite like that. Another one of these. What does that say on there? Does it say anything? No. Little, I think this is for a little baby. Angel. Some pretty glass beads. Very pretty. We have a gold chain. And another sparkly, there seems to be so many of these. This lady must have loved her sparkles. Another sparkly, whenever I have these, I tend to get twisted, so I can't wear these anyway, and they get caught in my hair. But very, very pretty sparkly necklace. In reasonable condition. Let's just untangle this one a little bit. I do like this antique-y, I'm not a gold wearer myself, but I do kind of like the more antique-y colours. Some little plastic pearls, heart, a swallow, lots of leaves. Yeah, just a heart and a swallow. I'm not sure, is this a sort of religious type necklace? I'm not sure. And then we have some more plastic beads on ribbon with a couple of sparkles, again with the sparkles. This lady liked her sparkles. This says woman, femme, donna, Mutter, Frau. So it's woman in many different languages. It's not silver, although it does feel like it could potentially have been. Perhaps it's coated in silver plate. And then a very pretty, although it's missing a couple of, I think it is missing, yeah, a couple of these, I'm not sure. Yes, no, that's not missing. That's actually complete. I didn't realise that. I thought it had some missing. But again, there is no maker's mark. And it wouldn't fit me. They're very, very pretty. Can't see any name on there. Possibly one for my daughter. I don't know. It might be too pretty and bright for her. And a spare bead that's come from something, I'm not sure what. But that's it for my little jewellery unboxing. Not sure if it was £30 well spent. I think it was, personally. There's quite a lot of different pieces in here, which I might have a couple for myself. But my daughter is certainly going to have fun going through this and deciding what she wants to keep. And she will certainly have fun deciding where to put them in all the little compartments in the boxes. So that's it from me, from Herbs and Splodge. Next time I'm going to be unboxing some crystals that I've ordered, and I really hope you join me for that. So like and subscribe, and if not, go over to my other channel and listen to some of my hypnotherapy, which is what I do. Okay, thank you, bye-bye.